I know a little bit about how to run a garden and raise vegetables and stuff like that. But I'm a carnivore, so it's never been a big priority of mine. What I do is take current and existing machinery that other people say is junk and turn it into something useful. That's my specialty. That's what I do. The psychology of people, well, that's a whole nother story. And maybe I'll tell it sometime. But let me put it like this. Yes, there are situations where it's beyond repair. That junk is junk and that's just the way it is. But that philosophy should never, ever apply to how we view each other. Unless that person's choice, no matter who they are, is to remain ignorant to the things that go on around them and not see things for what they are. In that case, they're not fit to survive. Crazy day, huh? First of all, well, I've said this before, but why not? I know that nobody's going to listen to what I have to say. Well, on a limited scale, maybe, because I get customers who actually listen to what I have to say because I've been doing what I do for so long. But for the most part, people don't listen worth a damn because of whatever reason my station or how I carry myself or what have you influences their thinking process, or whatever I have to say doesn't count for shit. And that's the same attitude that the people who are running the show at the top in the world and our government see us. You, believe it or not, with all of your status that you hold to yourself. So I get the mindset of all of this because I've seen it before. So, where are we going? What's going on right under your nose? As I have said in a previous video, you're being shown exactly what is wrong with the machine of freedom that you have been riding on or in your entire life. And if you aren't willing to open your eyes and determine for yourself what's going on, irregardless of what people like me have to say, then you're lost. You might as well not even try to follow along. And that's kind of what I experienced last night. There was a big incoming CME last night, and yeah, we seen it here in Wisconsin, but it was real faint and like a strobe effect. So I decided to go to my favorite Aurora cam and see what it looked like further up north. Well, there's a rule on the chat on that particular cam: no politics, no conspiracy theories. And it's hard to separate the two nowadays if you really have your eyes open to what's going on. So I made a comment about how different the world was when I used to lay down on the back of the snowmobile when we'd be up riding in northern Wisconsin and the northern lights were happening, because they happened quite a bit back then. And while the rest of the group was in the bar, a lot of times I'd just lay down on the sled and stare up at the northern lights because, as far as I was concerned, that shit was fascinating. Way more interesting than whatever was going to be going on in the bar as a 7-year old. But as I'm talking about what it's like and how I thought life was a lot more simple back then, men were men, women were women, and that's just the way it was. And life was simple. You didn't have to make all these stupid choices, decisions, and dance around people's feelings about this, that, and the other thing. And how I thought it was a much better time. These people in this freaking chat room start freaking out. Well, not freaking out, but throwing the policy, the chat policy in my face and blah, blah, blah. And people are saying they're going to go look for a mod. And it's just ridiculous. Well, as I exited the room after I said my piece, because don't get me going, because I'm not going to shut my mouth up and walk away. I've done that before. That is counterproductive. So after I said my piece, as I'm shutting down the live Aurora cam, because it really didn't turn into what I hoped it was going to, I had an epiphany. If that's your or anyone's opinion about the state of affairs of the world these days, unfortunately, that person or that group of people or what have you ain't worth saving when it all falls apart. Because they didn't care enough to observe what was going on right under their eyes, right under their noses, and won't know the end effect of how they got there. And a person like that is not fit to survive in the world when it collapses on the in between before where we are and where they want to take us happens. Now, I hope it doesn't. I hope there's a big plan behind the scenes that keeps it all at least wise in a semblance of the way it was, because I think the Constitution is the only way to roll. But if you know people like that and the bottom falls out, stay the hell away from them, because they will not be an asset. They will be a detriment to you and those who you want to carry through survival.